Get hard on Jet?
Is he asleep? Show me what he looks like when he sleeps.
Do you still clean his ass?
You creepy bastard.
Jesus.
All right, who wants to do the intro?
I don't know.
Nobody.
You do it. It's his kickoff. You do it.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
Mike Devins.
Welcome back to Get My Go, Season 3. All right, well...
All right, well, hang on. Let me do this intro. Hold on. Let's start this over. All right, here we go. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right. Let's get back in here. It's Season 3 of Get My Go. If you didn't know by now, of course, I am the Chadster, sitting in the bottom left-hand side of your screen, ready to get rolling for the second half of the Showdown, and joined by the cast of greatness that is the cast of Get My Go. Of course, right above me is the man who put it all together. The power in the NWA belongs to this guy's camera. It is the one and only Mr. Mike Durban. He is back. Welcome.
Thank you.
In the middle, up on the top, he's wearing one of the hottest shirts on the market as we speak. If you thought it was Hulkamania, you are dead wrong. It is the Chadster shirt, but we'll talk about that later. It is the great Husey coming back and jumping in on the fun of the Showdown.
How was everybody's summer?
Good.
It was great.
I went to a lot of concerts.
Then the master of the Mallertown universe, my favorite Australian gentleman up there in the upper right corner. That is the one and only Dean Machine, the Aussie Guy, back for another round of Get My Go. Woo-hoo!
I love that Mike tanked the intro just so Chad had to do it.
Just leave it in.
I purposely did that horribly just because I wanted Chad to do it.
So now you're going to leave it all in.
And then in the bottom right corner, we couldn't leave him for last if we tried, but it is the man behind the Creative Control Network. I love the guy to death. When he sends me texts about new sponsors, it makes my night, but I'm very happy to have us joined again by the great Joe Feeney.
Happy to be here. I'm looking super duper forward to Season 3. There's a lot of things on the list that I can't wait to tackle. Today we're going back into the well though, and we'll finish up part of this Rob and John Showdown, which was so critically acclaimed. So let's get into it.
Before we get started, I just want to 100% clarify. We're definitely coming for Juan Under. 100%. He's mentally ill. He's a fucking loser nerd who's potentially on some type of register. We are going to get you really badly. And stop going on fucking Patreon saying that you're part of Keeping 100. We already have an official cast member who's risking shutting us down at all times. So fuck off and don't ask about Austin Batty.
How often does he get his hair cut?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, so we're gonna do one on unless you listen to Keep It 100, you have no idea who this guy is, but trust me, it's gonna be great.
I don't even listen to Keep It at 100 regularly, and I know who he is. But the pretentiousness of this guy, we're gonna make you delete your deleted Instagram. Let's just put it that way. That's how bad we're coming after you.
That'll be the first time we'll do one on just like pictures and screenshots and stuff. There's no video of them, is there?
Oh no! Oh, there is. There definitely.
There's video.
Yeah. There's a
really hilarious comedy sketches where he talks to gentlemen. Not there's anything wrong with that. About his impressions.
There's a sizzle reel that he's got.
Oh, sizzle reel.
We're gonna check. Yeah, we're gonna check that out.
More like drizzle reel.
I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say that line.
It gets better.
You gotta be quicker around here.
All right, so we're going to continue where we left off last season. We were watching the showdown between Johnny Podcasting and Rad Rob. We only got 39 minutes into it last season, and we have about 45 minutes more to do. Plus, there's like a 15-minute postscript by Rob solo, so we're going to have to do all that too. So before we get into it, guys...
Hang on a second. I realize we don't have much time, but I gotta get an answer to this. What are these guys doing now? Because I haven't paid attention. Rob is still soldiering on, but John is not. Is that right?
I think that's right. I got to give Wangland credit for really taking himself off the radar big time, following, the Get My Go season 1 and 2 advice, but finally accepting it and really taking himself off the silver screen, if you will, here on the computer. But he's followed Rob. I don't think so.
Do you think John can keep it up, though? I mean, you got to figure Christopher's up his ass. Like, let's do this, let's do that, let's do Nitro. They got to be. I think he's going to come back, but yeah, he's vanished, huh?
Well, I'm pretty sure that John Wangland would never want another man up his ass.
John did come back for a show. John and Martin did a show together about maybe a month and a half ago.
Don't get used to this site because it's a temporary visit, but I was able to get him out of his temporary retirement, and that's Mr. Johnny Podcasting, Mr. Johnny Wangland. Brother, how are you doing tonight, my friend? I'm so happy to have you back on.
And then, even more epic than that is the fact that they actually met in person. John was on vacation in South Carolina, and they met up and they had dinner together, and they went to a couple.
Ironically, since the meetup, they've pretty much been no-shows. Even Brother Martin doing his solos, he stopped doing them. So,
well, I'm glad to be here, man. It's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me on. I know it's been a few months, and I know it's a one-off appearance, but when you asked for it for a while now, and I told you, I said I'd hop on with you, once in a while here. So this is my once in a while, and I'm happy to be here tonight.
Yeah, there's nothing going on with it. Well, Wangland's even stopped doing his YouTube videos. He was doing his daily YouTube little videos he cut together. He's even stopped doing that. So
good.
Yeah,
they were stupid and they were a waste of time. And he could have been doing anything else constructive with his world, but he chose to take copywritten material and turn it into 90-second videos, trying to capitalize on that YouTube boom that we're seeing.
That craze, He actually unearthed some gold that no one had ever seen before. Had you ever seen that interview where Bret Hart references El Dandy? Because I'd never heard of it, and thank God Wangland discovered it in 2021. Because that hasn't been around for 20 years or anything.
But I remember when this thing happened with Raw, it was like a huge deal because it was right at the peak of the Get My Go mania. We were getting like literally tens of views. but those tens of viewers were really into the war, the rise. But one of the things I remember about watching this happening live is that the comment section on the video was fucking insane, and Rob was getting dozens and dozens of it, maybe a couple of hundred comments, but he wasn't reading out the most insulting ones because, to be fair, Rob did say to me that he had no intention of arguing with Wingling, but it did backfire.
Oh, it backfired. It backfired in a major way. It was almost a hand grenade that went off in his hands because somebody took it upon themselves to try to supersede the Get My Go group, and I think that is what backfired on him.
All right, guys. Well, before we get into this, I have a little surprise for you and for all our great, good viewers. Do you guys want to hear an updated show intro?
Fucking yes.
Yeah.
I've had this done for about 2 weeks now, and it's been killing me not to share with any of you. But normally I'll leak it to you guys first, but yeah, this time I kept it to myself. And
you dirty dog.
Here we go.
It's time for everybody's favorite radio show.
Get My Go. What the fuck does that mean?
Get My Go don't make no sense.
Does that get your go?
He really gets my go.
We're not doing this get on my go crap again.
Check out Get My Go.
All it is making fun of people and being a dick every second.
They don't give a shit about you.
This is a show run by idiots for idiots, okay?
This show is a fucking disaster.
She is a wordsmith.
I'm sorry I'm not as eloquent as you, total nonstop stutter muffin brother Martin.
These guys are making some great waves that's out there.
What?
Do you ever listen to Get My Go, Nick?
Why would you ask me a question like that?
Yo, Disco, I know you're gonna see this. Bro, you ain't fucking cool, dog. You ain't fucking cool.
Oh, Get My Go this, Get My Go that, so on and so forth. I heard it here and there. I had a couple people send it to me in Messenger.
Get my go.
Get my go.
Get my go.
Get my go. You couldn't choose a better fucking name for a podcast than that.
I could sit here and fantasize about Cody Rhodes.
Bottom right.
And I'm bisexual, and I find that downright insulting and disrespectful.
Bottom right.
Hey, Richie, cover me for one second. I just gotta let the dogs out really fast.
It's going to be known as JVD Studios.
I don't want to talk politics. Survey says family loves you, Rue.
How much do you think we actually really know about each other?
I confided in you privately about my arrest.
No, I think I know you better than you know yourself.
But the fact that you didn't come to me with that information really hurt me.
Now!
Some of your comments make me think you're hooked on phonics and stuck on stupid.
Get my go.
Get my go.
Get my go.
Get my go.
And for all you women out there, if you're hoping to get with the wrestling otaku,
I saw my neighbor lady from across the way,
you better be ready to do some work, bitch.
and I had flashed her.
What?
For several minutes.
They can do me a favor.
You better be ready to do some work in that bedroom.
Stop right here.
Get my go. Get my go.
Get my go.
Fucking get my go.
Get my go.
Get my go.
Get my go.
Hey, well, you know, I want to say this right here, there, man.
I'm making a prediction right now. The groundhog's going to see its shadow.
I don't have a favorite color.
That record is sealed, dude.
Oh, think he's got a gut.
I will find you and beat you within an inch of your life.
And when we lift the gut up, there's a pee-pee under the gut.
Not enough Geritol and Centrum in the world will save your ass.
I told you I loved you plenty of times.
Man.
This shit sucks.
Very nice.
Lovely, brilliant. Yes.
Mike Dermond, you are a genius.
That was
Do you have a Christmas version prepared?
Yeah, I'm going to add sleigh bells and things like
Yeah,
that.
because no Christmas special last year was quite controversial.
All right, well, we'll do it then. We'll do it for you.
Well, Mike, maybe we could use my idea for the Christmas special.
What was that?
Ooh.
Well, I don't want to put it on. Well, you could edit it out.
Oh.
Get my snow.
So do you think that might anger a certain person? That little video?
A certain person. There's like 7 certain people. It just goes to show you. There's a tagline that I've been. There's a tagline I've been attaching to my Get My Go plugs that I think is quite true as it relates to whatever we're going to cover, and that is, we're coming for you. Whoever you are, that's yet to be determined, but we're coming for you.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the showdown. So we missed this on the last one, but look at the chuckle these two share here. I love this part.
Man, I'm not that old. I'm 45.
All right, yeah, my fault.
Look at those faces.
Rob's chuckle makes the whole world shake. You know, watch his mic; it wobbles.
Shaking like a bowl full of jelly.
My fault.
I gotta
Make me fucking old.
I gotta point something out I never noticed before. Wangland not only has all those toys that he bought for no reason now, he's also got a heater right underneath them.
Yeah, it's not good.
So that's gonna damage the package and melt the tootsies there, man. He's got Hulk Hogan holding an Intercontinental title belt. Like it's a fake wrestling room.
Yeah,
it offends me some. But look, a couple of pairs of Wellington boots there, man.
You know, we always busted John's balls for the shitty dye jobs he did, but Did Rob did he literally get his goatee professionally dyed and styled just for this event? Because that is dark. That is very dark there, man.
Yeah, he shaved the sides and the underneath part and then dyed the remains.
Instead of salt and pepper, it was barbecue that he rubbed in there.
So let's throw it out there, and let's once again throw it out there the right way. There was a lot of mistakes done on both parts. Can we agree to that?
We can agree to that, yes.
With Wangland, is it throwing it out there or is it pitching? I always thought he was a catcher, but that's the I don't think that Wangland could even admit that he farted. He's like, "Hey, I may have farted, but other people have done horrible things too. There, man. There's been rapists, there's been murderers, and I'm just farting. But we're both in the wrong. It's okay to admit to being not a good boy. You know, what's the guy number 13 in Brazil? What's his name again?
It's
Stan the Man.
Stan the Man obviously has raised Johnny podcasting up to be Johnny perfection. So he's not used to admitting the faults. They're man and stuff and everything.
Do we both have some pretty heavy egos at some points?
Oh, I still do.
I still do as well. And I'm learning.
Down from that. Yes. I'm fucking Rad Rob for a reason.
Hey, everybody's got egos at their own points, man. And it's one thing that gets the best of us. We all try to, get a piece of the pie and get that little thing and, of notoriety or attention. And it doesn't always get the right attention all the time. And as I said earlier, it's not always the right thing to do. And those are the lessons that you learn in life. None of us are perfect. None of us are perfect souls and perfect people when we make mistakes. And, we live and learn from them. And I'm trying to be a better person to live and learn from my mistakes as well. As I think I've learned more from mistakes and failures in life than I've ever had from any successes. And lots of great things have come in my life and I'm so proud of and happy for, but I've also had some things where we're all not proud of, and I'm not proud to act like a 2-year-old, and I'm not going to sit over there and act like a 2-year-old anymore. And
if John Wangland learns from mistakes, then he must be the smartest person alive. Everything he does goes badly.
Pretty much.
Mike, can you put a cliche bell on that last minute or so?
Yeah.
Just ding, 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 ding. Just want to take it one step at a time and just get better and each day and just, you know what I mean?
You want to win the lottery, you got to buy a ticket.
When he mentions having an ego and relating this to wrestling podcasting, this is my problem with wrestling podcasting and why I have grown to dislike it in such a major way over the last few years. Because what ego should you have from doing these podcasts? He's got under 1,000 followers. He's got like 15 YouTube subscribers. He's got no audience. He's got failed shows. He couldn't hold a Patreon. There's nothing you've done that would give you an ego other than the fact that talking to people in the business makes you think that you are on the same level as those people. And that is the problem I continue to have with wrestling podcasting, because neither one of these guys should have an ego. Now, let me say this. Wangland at least does some community service that could give him a chip on his shoulder in the local realm because, hey, there's the guy who did the veterans thing, and wow, he's a nice dude. Rob has done literally nothing. Nothing. I'm just going to preface that again. Nothing. There's no ego that should be had. You got to stop. I implore you to stop. Period.
You should.
Just quickly, Joe. Yeah. Sorry, you mentioned community service. Rob did do his court-ordered community service.
But it's been expunged. Why do we know that about you? Why the hell do we have to know this detail that you stood in front of your window for several minutes? I know we're going backwards, okay? But I had to just jump in. You should not have an ego because of wrestling podcasting. You're not even good at it.
I was going to say, Mike, just like we have that old sound, but that's why I'm Johnny fucking podcasting. You got to grab. That's why I'm Rad Rob, man.
Dude, I'm fucking Rad Rob for a reason.
Good point, Joe.
Yeah.
Point to Joe.
Oh, and also, if we're going to do countdowns, can we put a COVID fucking bell on here for how many times Rob's had COVID already?
If I had a $1 for every time Rad Rob had COVID, I'd be richer than Billy Body.
I'm with Husey on something that he's mentioned several times, that if we keep having the jitters with the video here like we did earlier, we should move to Zoom and see if we get anything better there. You know, is anyone else seeing the thing pixelating and all that? That's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's pixelating, but I haven't seen any other glitches outside of the video.
I want the best for you. I'd hope you want the best for me, and I really hope that you have all the nice things in life that you deserve, and everybody else out there too. Cut the bullshit. That's it.
I mean, I can thank you for letting me go because, you know, I am doing bigger and better things than would have been done. I mean, I've been on Hameen for the last 8 months. I'm making the transition over the Realm, and
how did that end up?
Jeez, you know,
transition over to Realm. Realm's been gone for a while.
I just want to say, once Rob, you know, there was screenshots of him or audio of him kind of taking shots at Get My Go and stuff like that. That's when I excommunicated him. So I don't talk to Rob anymore just because I'm, you know, if you're on the team or you're not, basically.
Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
But I got to say to him personally, like, all you did was follow John's pattern, though. Like right now, you're hopeful. You're like, yeah, I'm with Hameen's meet. What happened there? What happened with Brad Shepard? Like, you're doing the same fucking things, you know. And I don't even know. I guess you're still with what's his name, Drake. But I don't know that for a fact. But yeah, you repeated the same mistakes John did, man.
Like I get along with Rob still, and I was talking to him like about an hour ago about the Cobra Kai, but it is weird that he falls out with so many podcasters.
Falls out, and then Dean, what was that tweet you had recently about how he has to walk everything back?
Oh yeah, when he was tweeting praise for CM Punk.
Yeah,
and I just pointed out that, you know, perhaps if you didn't go scorched earth on everyone, you wouldn't have to keep retracting, writing retractions on Twitter. And he acknowledged that as being a fair point, which I was surprised. Usually I get a DM saying, why do you have to bust on me?
I think at this point it would
stop being funny at my expense.
At this point it would
that to other people.
It would definitely behoove the show to post or show the tweet, not the tweets, the texts he was sending Sean Ross Sapp to beg him to go to lunch with him for fuck's sake.
God.
Hey,
God
and
damn.
he posted that.
That was the worst thing I've ever seen. Watch this guy dunk on me 4 times. Like, holy shit.
It's been a hell of a lunch. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So,
Nice, dude.
I do have to thank you for that because that probably
Sure. Well, I'm happy for you, man. I really hope you do well with that, and hope it's a long-lasting, good relationship for you. And I hope you have a lot of nice successes for yourself.
I appreciate that. And you know, I've told the guys that Get My Go several times that they can all thank you for the success of the show.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, come on.
So I want to, Mike, you talked about the points. I want to go back and just give a point to John back there because that was really patronizing and condescending the way he said, I hope you stay around with them for a long time and have all the success in the world. Like, that was really sarcastic and bullshit. Like,
yeah, but he has a real problem coming across sincere. Everything he says kind of sounds like he's taking a shot at you. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I liked it. It felt like he was getting fired up, and Rob had no response. But yeah.
That was actually kind of a passive-aggressive insult from Rob there, too. I don't know where they're going to go, but by him saying, yeah, they should thank you for the success of Get My Go, he's basically saying, yeah, you being a bumbling idiot has really been positive for those guys.
Yeah, we'll give Rob a point for that one. That was good.
I'll tell you where they're going to go. They're going to end up in a hotel room with Careless Whisper playing in the background when they embrace a nice, slow, long, passionate kiss. Because the way they're looking at each other here, there is some sexual tension between these two, and it's creeping me the fuck out. Because all I'm hearing in my head is that Careless Whisper intro as they're staring lovingly into their computer screens, talking about all their faults. Because, I mean, you know, what's better than the makeup sex, right? These two make me sick.
Who do you think's a better kiss?
I've loved you plenty of times.
Oh, you know, by ragging on you for the last, year.
Whatever. I don't take myself seriously. Let's be real. We have fun. We're goofing around. It's a wrestling show. I don't take myself seriously on that stuff.
I will publicly admit that I had your Facebook pages taken down.
I know you did.
You don't understand.
I had to learn, a little bit on that one through the process. Well, it's a learning process in life.
Yeah, I mean, showing clips is one thing. Showing full shows.
Yeah, hey, I'm living and learning, man. Like we all are.
How's the Superstar sessions, Rob, where you brought the whole fucking clip of Superstars to the Get My Go universe, okay? You didn't only take down the Facebook page, you went out of your way to take that down, to show the emails and the messages you were sending so obsessively, where I can probably raise our hands here to say how many of us did not take part in taking down the Facebook page. That was the work of one person that was on this broadcast, and that's the Kool-Aid guy with the red shirt.
And it wasn't just one time. Was it 2 or 3 times?
It was obsessively.
It was a handful, yeah.
Multiple times, yeah.
But that was kind of egotistical.
I love
like him saying, yeah, you had to learn. Well, who the fuck are you to dish these lessons out, Rick?
Who are you to Dardell Dandy?
Oh, that's hilarious. Have you seen that? That's so funny.
It's a great clip.
Yeah.
I love Rob admitting it publicly. Like, I love when people say that. To who? There's like 30 people watching this show.
And they all know you did it.
Yeah.
It's a learning process, and hey, mistakes on me, and we're having fun now doing it a different way and the correct way now.
The fun way.
What was the correct way when they started a Patreon that nobody joined? Did that follow the Showdown?
They thought they might get $5 out of us to keep getting content.
Yeah,
from
that's
them.
a good point.
Yeah,
that's what they thought. But
yeah, that's the Stuttering John move, though. The Stuttering John Wangland. In that, they put it on Patreon so that nobody can get it shut down, and it's like,
Why did you think Cheap Heat and Cheap Pops was a good idea? Like putting everybody on one feed. It's not a network; it's a feed. It's the fun feed. Everybody has to say. Everybody gets to use the Twitter account, which nobody used that Twitter account.
Nobody was ever on social media but me, anyways, and that's why I don't like social media. So hence that's why I'm not on it.
And you've always said that, but when you announced that on Effing For Real, all of a sudden Blake and Jeff were gone. Did they not want to be part of that?
I think Jeff did, and Blake wanted to go with Joe, and hey, that's cool, man. He wanted to go with Joe, and how did that work out for him?
I don't know. I don't stay involved in that.
Yeah, I don't think it worked out too well, you know.
He did a show for a few months. I think he was having a kid or job, whatever it was, but he made money. It went fine. What's the problem? What, does he got to be around for 10 years? The whole point of it was just to take him from you anyway.
How many houses does he have in Florida?
Jesus.
Hopefully that Blake's a nice guy and Jeff's a really good guy. And I talk to Jeff, every couple weeks or so. I'll drop him a message, see how he's doing. Haven't talked to Blake. He's a nice guy. Joe's a good producer, all bullshit aside, and does good stuff. And Blake made a good choice to go with somebody. So
okay.
I don't know if it worked out.
There's something that's known in the Get My Go community of the compliment sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you do. You'll say, Joe's a great guy, great producer, does great things. I love him, but man, he's a real fucking piece of shit. But really, I hope nothing but for the best for.
Well, am I lying when I'm saying that he does a good job on certain things and has some nice successes that he has? I'm not. Do I think he's a good human being? No, I don't think he's a good human being.
Then build him up again. That's the compliment.
That's a point for Rob.
Sit over there.
That's a point for Rob.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were just going into you can sit over there territory, which is always fun.
And say something decent about somebody and then not like them too. Me and you aren't going to be writing Christmas cards to one another, but I can say you got some good talents and nice things and qualities about you buried inside of you too. Everybody does.
Buried inside of me. Okay. All right.
Yeah, everybody does.
Yeah.
So, you want to call it a compliment sandwich? You want to say whatever? Fine.
I think it's kind of funny, actually. But I mean,
it's trying to look at the positive, even when sometimes people are the negative or things are the negative.
Okay, that's fair.
John should smooth his shirt out there because it looks like he's transitioning and he has breasts in that shirt. I mean, I see a nipple, for God's sake.
I can't get past the other one's breasts, so I'm not really noticing that one.
Well, we're body shaming. We're body shaming.
Body shame away.
It's brought up quite a bit that you butchered the English language.
Well, I am a New Yorker.
Geez, so, here we go.
Let me just say that album.
Yeah, album. Yeah, all right. Yeah, no, that's true. But you have been very open about your many degrees and all your education that you've had, but yet you're not good at English.
No, I'm pretty good at English when I sit there and I always think it through. So when you're on the fly on a show and you're just putting something out there and you're live or you're saying something or you're doing whatever, you're just having fun. You're not always thinking the same way when you would if you were to do it in a different setting. You're out there and you're having fun. You're cutting up. You're having a good time. Okay, so do I butcher a word or so here and there? Sure. More than a few.
Yeah. Do I butcher an ing?
Did he say when you're a fly on a show? That was great. That statement.
He couldn't have presented a better example of how he butchers the English language by just his fucking word salad. Just there you go. Just figure that out.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these guys that likes to think when I'm recording. I save that for my free personal time with my family.
Yeah, hey, you know, speak the good English language.
Yeah, I thought it was the other one that spoke broken English.
Times, sure. But let's be realistic. We're on a show, man. We're talking and we're having fun. And if you got a problem with me butchering a word, you might need to sit over there and move on with your life because it's kind of sad. You might need to sit over there and move on with your life.
Well, why did you put wrestling with reality aside and move to Cheap Heat and Cheap Pops? You already had an established brand.
You know, because people were shitting on it so much at that point. There was so many people piling up on it that I wanted to try to have a different start from things. And I wanted to try to move on to something different and maybe move on to a different name. And as much as I love the name Wrestling with Reality and the good stuff we did, the bad stuff we did, all the stuff in the middle, you know, it was time to bury it at that point. We tried to bring it back and it was fine. But every second I tried to do something, you guys are trying to cancel me on getting rid of me on a platform.
Oh, God.
So you know what? It's enough. It says it right there. It's time to move on from there. And it is retired. It's dead. It's done. It's not coming back.
But then you brought it back like a few months later.
No, so I'm saying the last time that we did it, we didn't like the name Cheap Heat, Cheap Pops as much as it didn't fit. It's just the whole thing. It's just, I always like the name. I'd still love to have the name, to be honest with you. But every time I look around, somebody's trying to make this personal in life and always trying to mess with somebody's stuff that they're trying to do. And I'm not going on your streams and trying to mess with you. I'm not trying to get you shut down, man. I'm not trying to do that to you. I don't even know what you're talking about much. So the only time I see it is when somebody sends it to me. I see it once in a while on passing or whatever it is or whatever, man. I don't have the time for that. Like, I'm not trying to sabotage your stuff. That's so petty, man, all the time. And you know what? People sit over there and say, oh, you guys did it to us once. Dude, you've done it a million times back and a million times over, and you can lie and say you haven't, but you have.
I love how we're going back in time a little bit, but John's non-existent moles that he had that always sent him the clips and the screenshots. That actually happened with us, but I highly doubt anyone was reporting back to John unless it was Chris and maybe Rob at one time, but he didn't have anybody doing that.
So was someone doing the dishes that during that?
Yeah.
I thought I could hear plates clanging and shit. Yeah.
And it was midnight snack time on the left. And it was midnight snack number 3. I just like to point this out too. What brand? We're a brand if you're like Kellogg's or like Colgate or something like that. Or, if you want to go on the wrestling side, WWE is a brand. AEW is a brand. A guy doing a podcast from his basement is not a brand. Okay, all you are is a guy who was able to pay the fee that enabled you to have a podcast feed that posts to different platforms. Where are we branding? And you're in love with the brand. Like what are you talking about?
It's a brand in podcasting. It's ad-free shows as a brand.
Yes, exactly.
K100 is a brand. I would never put creative control up with those guys. That's just not the truth. I don't know how you guys, if you think where you think 2-Man Power Trip is. I happen to think it's up there, but I don't know what you guys think about it.
Well, I would say, Joe, I would put us kind of in the same category again, but we're established because we've both been doing this for 7 to 8 years now and have a track record of what, Joe? Not burning bridges. I might not do shows with John every week, but I've known the guy for 22 years and we put together a hell of a catalog of shows that anybody and their mother can go back and listen to. But besides that, I'm not sitting here having fights with people, going into detail about their backgrounds and this and that. Yeah. No, there's 8 years of constant content. That's it. Same thing. There's 8 years of interviews and shows and discussion that you could go and reference and pull. So whereas I maybe wouldn't put us in a full-blown brand column, I would put us in a successful podcast column. These guys don't know what the fuck they are talking about.
And why am I going to sit over there and keep trying to continue on with that? It's done. It's over. Move on.
I mean, I had a legitimate axe to grind. I can't speak for anybody else. I can't speak for all the people that follow that, get my go in the show and all that, all that don't like you. But I mean, it all started with me. And I've had this argument with Joe. I told him without me, there would be no Get My Go. I mean, Richie and I were the first ones to go on the Durban show and tell everything that happened from our point of view.
I want to remove all of Rob's points. Every point that he's achieved to this point, they are all gone for that fucking ludicrous, embarrassingly delusional statement. You just delayed being a fucking victim of this, Rob. You were never significant in Get My Go starting. They were always going to goof on John, and it was always going to be hilarity. You just happened to leave John and grab a hold of those coattails as tight as you could. But unfortunately, you're so heavy, those coattails ripped and you fell.
I've always said, and give credit where credit's due, even though he's not here and he's not going to hear it. The idea gestated with Husey long before it started, because I always said, no one's going to want to hear us just make fun of John for an hour. Who's going to listen to that? And I was dead wrong. And of course, by Rob saying that also, he's kind of denigrating Durbin's work with this, because I think we would all agree that he's the fucking star of the show with all the video editing, and he's taken the show so much further than just a few guys making fun of somebody with his production work on it. So you might have been the first guest, Rob, but I mean, come on, let's slow down a little bit on that.
Every time he was on it, for me, it brought it down a little bit. He tried to keep up with Dean, and so if you drop us in like the bins, right, or the tiers, that Dean Husey one-liner knockout punch, he tried to keep up with that. He would always ruin it. Then he tried to get in there. If you or I were in there to like clarify a wrestling statement, he'd jump in and try to like out wrestling history us. So if he did anything, he dropped the caliber of the shows that he appeared on.
And I mean, and that's one reason why I didn't ever want to do Superstar sessions. I always blew it off, except one time. But if you look at the numbers, even though, Get My Go does 1,000, 2,000, whatever, look at the Superstar sessions numbers. There's a reason that they're, 1/4 or less than half of everything else.
Joey, I can confidently say I always blew off the Superstar sessions. You were on 50% of the Superstar
because there's two. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I got lied to. I was told it was a Get My Go episode, so that's why I did it. I was told it was a Get My Go episode recording on like a Wednesday, so I was able to do it, but I got lied to, and that's when I was told by somebody outside of our circle in this room here to get off of the Superstar sessions. And I was going to say it.
I think everybody got that message.
And then Husey and Durban spawned Get My Go from that eventually.
Sure.
But I will admit that I did not handle things the correct way, because I've been carrying this around for 15 months. You were a good friend of mine.
Sure.
We were in business together.
Sure.
You're not in business. There's no money being transacted. There's no business, Rob. Stop with this business shit.
When I got cut loose, that was a huge blow, dude. I mean, we had big plans.
Yeah, we did.
We had really big plans to try to grow Rally Check.
We did. It sucks.
Okay. What were they?
Yeah. We should have.
What were they? Oh, man.
It was that convention in Georgia that got canceled twice, I think.
That would have skyrocketed everything.
I've carried that around for a long time, dude.
Yeah, I have too, man.
And
I have too.
I am the type of guy where I will not fucking rest until I bury somebody in the ground, metaphorically speaking. That's just.
I'll give a point back to Rob there, because that's some nice introspection. That is true. When he feels like somebody has wronged him, he will not stop until he's buried them into the ground. He never succeeds. He embarrasses himself, but he tries.
That's just me. I was not willing to let it go. I mean, I would just get incensed and enraged at just hearing your voice.
I hope you work on that, man, because that's not a healthy way to be, dude.
It's not. Hence
the job.
Point for
the Wangland.
The reason why we're here now, because I do want to end this. I do want to squash this, because it's not right to carry that around anymore.
Yeah, that's why I sent you That's why I sent you a message, dude.
No, I know.
I know.
And I'm glad you did, because it was good timing, because I was already, in my own head saying, at some point, I have to let this shit go. I have too many other things going on.
Sure.
I have projects to take on that I don't need to be wasting negative energy on you anymore. Because there's more to life than just carrying resentment over a fucking podcast or some Twitter bullshit.
Does anybody know the scene in Seinfeld whenever whenever they all have to go think of something and they go to the boardwalk and they're all walking around and there's music in the background? Yeah. Jerry does it. George does it. That's what I'm picturing. Rob was walking around thinking he was carrying that on his shoulders and trying to find a way to eliminate it.
When the idea of the showdown came up, he stood up off of the park bench and went sprinting back.
With the pigeons flying.
The pigeons flew, yeah.
Insert that video, Mike.
Oh, that's great.
Amen to that.
So that's why I wanted to kind of just settle this with you. And I'm probably going to get a lot of heat for it. And, if the guys from Get My Go have a problem with it, that's on them. They're still my friends. You may not like them, but I've gotten to know them all. And I think they're all great. I mean,
cool.
Whatever is with them is on you. But
dude, there ain't 1 minute of my life where I think about that other than when we're talking about it right now. When I hang up here, it's going to be life as usual, man, and moving on and having a good thing. I mean what I say. What's the past is the past, and what people say is what people say. What I've done is what I've done. The good things I've done, the bad things I've done, the good things you've done. Everybody, it's all the past. It's time to move on towards the future, and we all need to learn a lesson from the stupidity of how we both acted at certain points, and just move on from it. So.
Hey, Husey. I have zero hate with Rob for doing this.
Yeah.
Husey, response?
Yeah.
To your comment?
Still no. I had no hate with Rob for talking to Wangland, but I did have hate with him not putting up more of the comments. Because there was what was that woman that used to do the Impact podcast?
Salem.
Tony.
Yeah, she was writing loads of shit about Wangland and Martin that didn't make it on screen.
Mm-hmm. And I think at this point too, in interior DMs, if you will. See, I can't speak today. I know I was sending you guys it's crashing and burning. This is a fucking tailspin. It was not good. This is a terrible thing.
Well, to carry on from Husey's point, Husey's right. There was good stuff in the comments, and Rob it had to be all about Rob. He wanted to deal with his own personal stuff with John, whereas anyone that was tuning in was back him into a corner. Let's see what dumb shit that he's going to come up with to try and lie his way out of it. But Rob made it too much about his own personal retribution or whatever. So,
I don't give a shit.
He did say that in the beginning. It's just going to be about me and him. But still, people were commenting and attempting to interact. And the first couple of videos we did, obviously he was putting them up. He put up a couple of mine. I know at some point he just stopped. So I think we're at that point now, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. I don't care either way that he did it. It makes literally no difference in my life outside of having to sit here and watch it now for the first time. But to me, the thing that has heat with, I think, I'll say me, but I'm sure some of the other guys think the same thing. Don't take credit for something that you had such a little impact on. To me, that's unreasonable, and that's also very delusional. But who cares if he talks to me? They talk to him all day long. I don't give a shit. They want to get in a room and do whatever they got to do to careless whisper. So, I mean, it's, that's on them.
All right, we're going to cut it there for today. We're going to continue this on the next episode, possibly the next 2 episodes. This thing is going long. I may clip.
Yeah, how far did we get today?
We didn't get very far at all. So I think I'm going to have to clip it. I'm going to clip it for next time and shorten it up. So thank you, everybody, for coming back and joining us on the panel. Thank you for watching and listening. Please, guys, I want to make a goal for this season 3. I want to get us to 1,000 subscribers. We're at 606 right now. So please, by the end of the season, let's get to 1,000. Subscribe. So it's not do whatever you got to do. Just help us get to 1,000. Chadster, you got to go to a softball game. You're the coach.
Right.
What do you got going on podcasting wise?
Sure. It's the podcasting. Check out New Generation Declassified on the TMPT Empire feed. I've had a really cool run of episodes lately. It's been some cool stuff popping up. I don't think there's many new generation era podcasts out there. So if you find anything informational or you never heard it before, then we did the job. And of course, with the Queen of Extreme, Eyes Up Here, Creative Control Network, you can get a regular episode as well as the flashback. You can check out some of our archive and go to her YouTube channel, the official YouTube channel of the Queen of Extreme. It's at ECW Diva Francine.
Yeah, let's build up her subscribers too. Let's get in there.
Let's do it.
Dean, you also got to do something. You got to go record Mallertown. What's going on with you guys?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Mallertown, we do a show generally every week. Sometimes I get lazy and it goes a couple of weeks between episodes, but I'm actually, I know we're thinking about doing Stuttering John on Get My Go coming up, but I'm so obsessed with Stuttering John at the moment, and there's so much content that I'm actually bringing some Stuttering John roasting to Mallertown right now as I go record Mallertown. So yeah, I've clipped my own stuff. I'm not using Dabblers Anonymous or anything. I've actually listened to some Stuttering John and clipped my own stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm getting ready to do, and that'll probably be out before this episode because I know Mike's got a lot of video editing to do. So it's probably already out on. So check out just search Mallertown on your podcast apps. Outside of that, you can get a T-shirt from Mike Durbin's Pro Wrestling Tee Store. That's it. On Twitter, I'm at that. Guy.
What does that T-shirt say?
It says that Sussy Guy because that's where I am that's where I am on Twitter. And you just imagine that Aussie Guy and put an S where the A should be.
Yeah, and in the off season, Mallertown actually had the main man on the show, episode 49.
Yes, Ben Maller, who's the inspiration. The overnight sports talk radio host that we all love in the Maller Militia. Yeah, he came on for episode 49. If you listen to Get My Go because you like me, you probably like me because of the Maller Militia. So go listen to Ben Maller on Mallertown.
Husey.
At the time of recording this, the next It's Husey Hello podcast is going to be with the woman who I think Dean may know, Monique from the show Radio Gunk.
Yeah,
she had a car crash of an interview with Stuttering John, much like the one that Rad Rob just had with Wangland, where he was coming on to end the beef, and it just made the beef all that more meatier. She's on talking about how stirring all kinds of behind the scenes shit. Carl from WATP will be back on again soonish. Hopefully I'll be sober this time. And yes, but also check out Huge Entertainment on YouTube and Keeping the 100 Official on YouTube, which has been growing so rapidly in the last 2 months that I'm hoping a certain cast member is kicked off so that he doesn't get a share. Because it's looking like the money wise potentially could hit 5 figures for October.
See, that's business to John and Rob. Husey does business. I do business with Husey. I do business for Chad. I'd like to do business for Dean, but he's doing his own thing. So,
what about that Twitter, Husey?
Oh, at the Husey on Twitter and at the Husey on Instagram. Haven't been posting much in the last month because, well, frankly, I've been working around the clock, but if you do subscribe, you'll get to see something quite exciting coming up in the next few days.
You can catch me every Monday on the Raven Effect with Raven and Rich Bikini, MLW Radio, Spreaker, blah blah blah. You can catch me on K100 with Conan and Disco, Spreaker, iTunes, Apple Podcast, Spotify. Much like Husey said, the YouTube's growing, but K100 with the additional shows and all that is growing like a motherfucker. It's been huge these past few months, huge and monumental. So that's where I'm at. And check out the Creative Control Network at the CC Network 1 on Twitter. Check out the Kevin Sullivan Show, Tom Pritchard, Outlaws and Gunslingers, Husey, and everybody else that's on there. And Pat McNeil, the Honorable Mention guys. I probably forgot somebody. I'm not remembering right now. But at the CC Network 1 to follow all that shit. And you can follow them all on Spreaker too, subscribe and all that good jazz.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Mike Durband. I've been posting many pictures from my last 2 wrestling shows I went to, NWA 74 and then the Wrestling Showcase. Tons of wrestlers have been retweeting me and following me, so thank you to them. Check out youtube.com/Mike Durban. I'm about to upload my St. Louis vlog. It's got some video from St. Louis and then the NWA stuff. And on Twitter @GetMyGoShow. And most importantly, again, please subscribe to this channel. Please. Thank you. And that's it. We'll see you next time. Francine, speaking of texting wrestlers, you weren't close with Scott Hall, but I'm sure you were affected by his passing.
Yeah, we discussed it earlier today on Eyes Up Here as well. I got to work with Scott the weekend he was in ECW. I was like praying that it wasn't going to end the way it did, but unfortunately.
Yeah. So after he passed, did you text Diamond Dallas Page and offer your did you offer your condolences to?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
I texted DDP after he passed just to say, I'm sorry and give my condolences. And I said,
I didn't. Was I supposed to?
You didn't thank him for giving Scotty an extra 10 years?
No.
I told Dallas, I said, you got 10 more years out of Scotty that he may not have had at the point that he was in.
No.
Why did they reach out to Diamond?
Someone else did.
This is an in joke, Francine. You're not supposed to get it. Mike did this just for me and Chad, and me and Chad are loving it. All right, but...
Okay. Well, I'm glad you guys are popping because I have no clue who you're talking about. But
I said you got him in the Hall of Fame twice. He got inducted twice. He got to mentor his kid Cody, and so many others.
I did not.
As we say now, why don't you go and mow my lawn?
Yeah.
And trying to just put his mind at ease a little bit. It's one of his best friends who live right down the street from him. It's just just a really tough thing, man.